Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 79 of Shattered Image, and this one is titled Hobi. You headed around to the back of the claw machines, and then at the back of the arcade was this rather good-looking dude with light grey-blue hair and hazel-green eyes, just chillin' with his back against the side of the Dance Dance Revolution machine, and you smirked as you and Sero approached him. Hey, dude, you said as you got closer. You gonna dance on that thing all night? He looked up and eyed you and then reached his hand out, and you did too, the two of you slapping palms and then pulling your hands back. Only until your grandpa gets here, he replied, only looking at you and not even acknowledging Sero, who was slightly behind and to the side of you. How have you been? He asked you. Who's this? He added, jerking his head in Sero's direction. My boyfriend, you said, and Sero stood a little straighter. You remember him from high school, yeah? He was on the archery team. Oh, yeah. I never got to know the archery boys much. This guy replied. Sup, he added with a jerk of his head to Sero. Hey, Sero replied, the two boys giving each other a bit of a cold stare. Head out of the arcade and turn left. Walk to the end of the street and then turn left again and go into the Mishijo Hotel. Mr. Miyanae said into your earpiece, and you looked at Hobi. Hey, so let's go, you said to him with a jerk of your head. Unless you want to keep playing on your grandpa game there. Huh, he scoffed. Better could beat you anyway. Take on my man, you said, jerking your head in Sero's direction. He claims he's good, but I've never seen him play it. Hobi looked at Sero. So you can dance? He asked. Well, I'm good at winning, Sero replied, and your eyebrows shot up with surprise. Bro suddenly had confidence, or he was feeling some kind of pressure from this guy and needed to prove himself. Hobi pushed off the side of the machine and slid his hands into his pockets. Come on and put your money where your mouth is if you're going to talk big, he said, spinning around and pulling an arcade card from his pocket and swiping it to get the game started. This one's on me, baby, he added, and you saw Sero stiffen. Oh, this is interesting. I've never seen Hunter like this before, you mused internally, remaining silent as you moved to be able to watch both boys on the machine. They each picked a floor of the machine to stand on, and then the song selection came up and they agreed on one they both knew. Joke's on him. I know this song back to front, Sero thought, as the song started up and the floor under them with the arrows lit up as well. As soon as they started moving, you could tell both boys knew how to work the machine, and you were surprised that Sero moved freakishly well. Can he actually dance, or does he just know the song well? You wondered, watching him keenly. There was a double left foot combo coming up, and you watched as he shifted his weight to his right leg and remained light on the left before the combo came up, and you noticed. Ah, he just knows the song really well, you thought with a smirk. Hobi was keeping up well, but judging by the difference in his style to Sero's style, you could tell that Hobi was moving on quick reflexes alone and had no idea what was coming up in the song. Hunter has the advantage, you thought, as Hobi missed a step, but Sero got it, and by the time the song ended, Sero only won, but by 1 point. But a win was a win. Whatever, Hobi said as he jumped off and pushed his hands into his pockets again. Good game, Hobi, Sero said calmly as he got down and walked beside you. Yeah, thanks, dude, Hobi replied coldly. Let's go, you said, leading the way with the boys walking behind you. There weren't too many people in the arcade, but you made sure to suss them all out as you left, clicking into high alert as you turned left at the door and then headed down the road and turned left again, looking for the hotel ahead. The boys were very quiet behind you, so you made it to the hotel doors and then waited for the next instructions. Hobi knows the code to the room. Head to the elevators on your left, Mr. Miyanae said, and you turned and headed over to the elevator. Do not talk about who you are or anything relating to the mission in the elevator. It could be bugged. Once you get to the room, it'll be safe to speak. We have checked the room and will be waiting for you there, he added. You didn't say anything, just pressed for the elevator to take you up, and then Hobi stepped up beside you. I got it from here, he replied, waiting for the doors to open before stepping in, and you and Sero followed him. He must have already known not to speak, since he just stood there quietly after pressing the level number and then put his hands back in his pockets and just waited for the elevator to move up until it got to the level he pressed. This is us, he said, and then he pushed off the elevator wall and took a step to the elevator doors and then stepped out once they opened and headed off down the hall with you and Sero still following. It was very quiet in the hall and no one else was around, so you relaxed a little and then stopped behind Hobi once again when he turned to the hotel door and then punched numbers in on the code there and pushed the door open. As you stepped in, you saw about 5 men in black suits all standing around, and you eyed each of them as you entered. So, Hobi said as he sat down on the bed there and then lay back, they told me there'd be just one chick coming. You looked at him, and then the officials standing around to see if any of them would speak. "Who are you?" Hobi said again as he sat up and glared at Sero. "I wasn't told there was a dude tagging along for funsies." "He's not here for funsies, and neither am I. I was asked to be here by Mr. Mianai, and I asked for my boyfriend to accompany me," he said back to this Hobi guy, arcing up a little bit. "You weren't asked to be here, princess of free will. If you didn't agree to this, you'd be off to jail right now. And this here," he added, nodding to Sero, "is your handler." Sero immediately placed a hand on your arm and whispered lowly to you. "He's trying to get under your skin. Don't let him," he said quickly. You bit down on your tongue, but the fire in your eyes was showing just how ready you were to fight this guy, and your anger robbed your vocal cords of all things you wanted to say, so you just stood there silent, but even that was deafening enough. Hobi smirked when he saw that he had riled you up so quickly, and then he got up and walked over to a drawer and opened it and pulled out a packet of something and threw it to you. You caught it on instinct and looked down at it. "What is this?" you asked. "Anger management meds," Hobi said. "Mr. Mianai fast-tracked it so you'd be a little more docile. Like a kitten," he added, lifting his chin up a little so he could look down his nose at you with a superior smirk on his lips. "He's doing this on purpose," you reminded yourself, but it didn't make you want to smack him one any less. "Well," he asked, crossing his arms across his chest, "you going to take one or not? You need to be on these for the mission." "What he says is correct, unfortunately, Yin. This was part of the stipulation," Mr. Mianai said into your ear. "And why aren't you here?" you snapped back into the room, knowing that Mr. Mianai could hear you, obviously, since he could hear Hobi. Hobi blinked at you with confusion since he couldn't hear Mr. Mianai in your ear. "I got Mr. Mianai in my ear, and I'm asking why he isn't here. Why do I have to take orders from you?" you asked Hobi darkly. "Because you're working for me, keeping me safe," he replied with airs of superiority. "If anything happens to me, it's on you." "No, it's not," you snorted. "You're just a mule for the CIA. If anything happens to you, it's going to upset their scheme, but I'll be sleeping well at night," you replied with an eyebrow raise and a smirk. "Suck that, asshole. I don't care one bit about you," you thought. Whew, off to a bit of a rocky start with this Hobi guy. Doesn't he know how to get under Yin's skin? Stay tuned for the next chapter coming tomorrow. See you then.